Okay guys, we're in here. We've got our tomatoes cooked down now. We've run them through the sieve. We've got them completely seed free and skin free and all. What we've ended up with is 40 cups of tomatoes here. We've got them on a low simmer. What we've done is we've chopped up one whole onion and put into them. Divided it equally among the two pots, half a cup of onions in each one. We put a half a cup of sugar in each pot. We put a quarter of a teaspoon of salt in each pot and a quarter of a teaspoon of black pepper, a quarter of a teaspoon of garlic powder into each one. And in the back here, in this pot here, if I can get this up where you can see it, we have 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar. And we have 3 tablespoons of celery seeds, and we're heating them for 30 minutes. So we make sure we get that celery taste out into the vinegar real good. And once this cooks down a little bit, now one thing that we are doing here, I want to show you, is we're skimming the tops of our tomatoes here, getting the impurities off of it. As you can see here, this stuff right here, we don't want this in our tomato ketchup. So we're trying to skim the impurities off. It's a little bit of a process. Now you're gonna get a few of your onions with it when you go, but don't let that bother you. We're trying to get our ketchup to be as clean and pure as we can. It's a little bit like making sugar cane syrup. You're trying to get the impurities as these tomatoes cook off. Alright, so this is where we're at. You want a gentle rolling boil. You want to stir it occasionally to make sure that it doesn't scorch on the bottom. We do that on both of these. Periodically, we just kind of stir them a little bit. Not a lot. Just want to make sure that I'm going to turn this one down because it's boiling just a little bit too hard. Just take your time with it. Work it and make sure that you get as much of the impurities off as you can. You'll really appreciate this when you start using your ketchup. It's really a simple, not hard to do. What we're going to be doing here, we're going to be cooking this, and I don't know if rendering would be the right word, but we're going to be cooking this down till it's thick from this point on. Now, in just a few minutes, once the apple cider vinegar has heated long enough with the celery seeds in it, we're going to be taking that mixture and dividing it equally among the two pots. And then all we have to do is just let it cook on a low simmer until we've evaporated a lot of the juice out and we have it down to the thickness and the consistency that we want for ketchup. So when I get ready to add the apple cider vinegar in, I will show you that process. Okay guys, we've just added the apple cider vinegar. We divided the 1.5 cups into 2 separate cups, which was 3/4 cup of each one. We put 3/4 cup in this one, 3/4 cup in that one. We took the 2 packets out that we had in it of celery seed. You do not want to get the celery seed into your ketchup. You only want the seasoning from it. We took those out and put the apple cider vinegar in it. So now we're basically going to just let them sit here on a simmer and stir them frequently so we don't get any scorching on the bottom until we get them cooked down to the consistency that we're interested in for our ketchup. When we get further along, we will get back with you and show you some more of our results. Okay guys, we've got these. We started at 2:15, it's 4:15. That's 2 hours of cooking here. We've got these kind of cooked down, not all the way yet, but we want to do a little update along, kind of show you some of what we're doing here. I'm still taking a few little skimmings off every now and then because I like the ketchup to be good and clean. We're just going through here, easing them skimmings off. Stirring it occasionally. Now what we have had to do, back on the recipe, I've had to add another 1/2 cup of sugar because I've realized that it just was a little bit too tomatoey for my taste. and I added a 1/4 cup of vinegar, the apple cider vinegar extra. So those are a couple of things we can add into that recipe that I told you. Because this here is getting pretty close over here. What we're going to do is when we get them both pretty close, we're going to put them together. Because I'm going to have the stove top to actually do my canning on. So right now we're still just trying to get some of the stuff off of it. Now, I don't know if I can show you, but I don't know if you can see how thick it is there. It's getting pretty thick. So we're not quite there for my consistency, but we're working on it. Okay guys, we've got this cooked down now. We're into the final stages. We still have a few little skimmings that'll pop up on the top right here, and we'll get them off. We're fixing to be ready to can it. I want you to look at it, kind of see how thick it is. Look at that, how thick it is. Talking about some good ketchup there now. I've tasted it, it's got a good taste. Now we've had to tweak the recipe a little bit because I didn't want to put something out that I didn't think had a really good taste to it. So I'm going to give you the recipe now that we've tweaked everything. We used 40 cups of pureed tomatoes, that's without the skins and the seeds. 1 cup of finely chopped onions. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. 1 teaspoon of salt. 2 cups of brown sugar. 1 clove of garlic minced or 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. 1 3/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. 3 tablespoons of celery seed put in a cheesecloth sachet. And let's see, I haven't missed anything. That is it. And you have watched the complete process as I've been cooking it. So we are ready to start canning this up. Now this is going to be a water bath process. We are actually using our extra virgin coconut oil jars to one of these right here. We get our coconut oil in them. We're actually canning in these jars because they don't have to be pressure cooked. They're going to be water bath, and these are perfectly fine for that. We're going to go ahead and start ladling our hot ketchup into our hot jars. Wipe the top of the jar off good. Make sure it's good and clean. Get us a good lid on there. It's a hot ring. Ooh, that baby's hot. Usually I can hold on to anything hot, but this one here is super hot. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take this lid off of here. We've already got our water in the water bath heating up. We're going to set our first jar in there. We didn't know really how many jars we was going to end up with this. So you're going to be the first one to see it the same time I see it.
Okay guys, this is the last jar. Whatever is left is mine. I've got a bowl over there for Danny to pour this in. And it's going to be enough for us to try. And y'all, Danny doesn't have ball on these jars, and he's having a hard time figuring out which way to turn the lid.
Yeah, I'm so OCD. I'm trying to figure out how to put the lid on here because the jars are completely round and doesn't have ball road on it anywhere.
It messes with his OCD-ness.
Okay, here we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pints from 40 cups of pureed tomatoes. That's what we ended up with. I'm going to put it down in here. Got the temp on here. It's going to, once it comes to a boil, we will set the timer for 15 minutes for the water bath. Okay guys, the time is up. We're fixing to take the lid off. There, as you can see, we have our water boiling. We're going to pick our jars up, set them up on top. You can see the ketchup jars now. We're going to be taking them out, putting them over here on the island. I always like to get a little bit of a hot pad, put it under my hand because there's water on top of the jars. We'll tilt it over. We'll take them over to the island. I'll show you that in just a minute. I already hear them popping. We love ourselves some ketchup now. Or I do. Wanda doesn't eat that much, but I do. And this is our last jar right here. You can turn around and see right there. There they are. Focus in on it right there. There we go, guys. There's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jars of fresh homemade ketchup. I'm going to go get some out of the refrigerator now. It should have cooled a little bit. We're going to see just how thick it actually is. Okay, we're going to look at it. See this right here? That's how thick it is. It won't even fall off the spoon fast. Look at it. So that's some good ketchup there. Tasting it. Guys, it's just good ketchup. I mean, that's all I can say. Now you're going to have to get out of your head that it's going to taste like store-bought ketchup, because store-bought ketchup is mostly not real. This is real ketchup, has the real ketchup taste to it, and so that's going to be one of the things that you're going to have to get used to if you make your own homemade ketchup, is that it's not going to taste like ketchup out of a bottle. It's going to taste just a little bit different, but it's actually better to me because it actually tastes like real tomatoes. And that's what I like. So, thank you from Deep South Homestead.